Still running too rough. What's wrong? Right. There's a gauge showing the turbine's power output. The needle's got to move into the green zone. Still running too rough. What's wrong? Here, take a look at the instruction manual. You might have better luck than me. Right. There's a gauge showing the turbine's power output. The needle's got to move into the green zone. right smart, you were. She's running much smoother now. Say, since you were so interested, go on, have a peek in the engine room. She's quite a sight.
Excuse me, I would speak with you. Forgive me, I am sorry to intrude on you, a person of such high station. I am Vlad. I have many. I am leaving my home. I am a Serb and they have killed my wife, my children, the Austrians. For that they will pay. But I do not want to burden you. Please, I need a favor. I have a friend in first class, in cabin A14. Mr. Barbican has a package for me. Can you bring it here? I am a stowaway. If I am caught, maybe they throw me overboard. Please get the package. I've eaten nothing since we sailed, save for a rat who is not so fast. His name is Barbican, in A14. Tell him you've come from Vlad. He will give you the package. I wait here for your return. Your assistance will be repaid manyfold.
Crikey, how'd you get here? Sorry, passengers aren't allowed to enter the cargo hold. Sorry, passengers aren't allowed to enter the cargo hold. You'll have to go back up.
You found him. Sasha Barbican of Barbican Galleries. Now, what is it that I can help you with? For Vlad? He's on board? Please come in. He did it. I told him not to, told him I'd pay his ticket, but he was too proud. Such a tragedy about his family. They were with my mother's people. When Austria took Bosnia, they were killed. Many were. With his family dead, America seems as good a place as any for Vlad. Ask Vlad, I don't know. Here, his things. He'll be glad to get them. It's rather late. Our history is quite complex. Certainly. Georgia's a woman who does not go unnoticed. Georgia exudes a certain romantic paranoia, a condition, I fear, worsened by Charles' own romance with whiskey. Continuously. One hears there are financial problems. They say Charles owes Andrew Conkling thousands of pounds. Georgia? Have you talked to her? You be the judge. She's accused me of outrageous deeds, libelous practically. I'm part Slav, you see, a Serbian on my mother's side. Georgia finds such a mixture a source for wild stories. Georgia? Have you talked to her? You be the judge. She's accused me of outrageous deeds, libelous practically. I'm part Slav, you see, a Serbian on my mother's side. Georgia finds such a mixture a source for wild stories. Not much anyone can do, I'm afraid. George is in clear need of a rest. Good night. And don't believe what Lady Georgia says. She's not well. Enjoy your voyage.
Step lively. Where to? Mind the gate. Up a bit late, aren't you? Just like Mr. Conklin. He's a night owl too. Just a little ways more.
Thank you. I must see Mr. Barbican. I've bad news. He will not be happy. I am looking for something. Something very important. But it's not here. You have seen a small... It is of no importance. Good night.
Did you get it? Did you find the Rubaiyat? Smashing. What have you learned? More art? Zeitel's no connoisseur. No, there's something about that painting of interest to the German High Command. I don't have any information about Vlad, but the other fellow, look here. Zeitel's Titanic contact is a London art dealer named Sasha Barbican. They say he smuggles art, and he's not above selling stolen merchandise. The files say he's Serbian, interestingly enough, with links to some shady Balkan groups. Let me see. That's the Rubaiyat, all right. Well done. Leave it with the purser for safekeeping. It shall be undisturbed there. The painting's what Zeitel's really after. You must secure it. Where or how, I don't care. Just find it and bring it back here. Remember, leave the Rubaiyat with the purser for safekeeping. He might also know where the painting's stored. Sneak a peek at his cargo manifest. That should help you find the painting. Cargo stored somewhere beneath the forecastle deck. Things are thickening up quite nicely, aren't they? We've got to get our hands on that painting. Don't fail.
Thea. Oh, what do you want? Why, what do you know? Not that it matters. I'm much too busy. I must get this message through from Mr. Thayer. Mr. Thayer expects his private train car to meet him in New York, and I can't leave my post. But I need to send this telegram. Help? Yes, it might be helpful if you delivered this message to the wireless room for me. Even better, why don't you send it for me? Mr. Thayer is a very important man. So send the telegram at once. And when you have, don't forget to tell me. Very nice. Security is our first priority. I'll put it in the safe. Yes, indeed, all jewels go right in the safe. Glad to be of service. Good night.
Quick! I've tracked Zeitel and Sasha to the ship's stern. They're having a rather heated conversation. See if you can listen in. I'll track their movements.
A cold night. I think you'd be more comfortable inside, don't you?
Excuse me, but I have not seen my friend in such a long time. There's a lot we must discuss privately. Good night. Please, this conversation, it is an important one. Excuse me, but I have not seen my friend in such a long time. There's a lot we must discuss privately. Good night. Please, this conversation.
We've a problem, Zeitel.
Which is?
The Rubaiyat, it was not at your drop point.
You are sure?
Most definitely.
But I put it there myself. What happened?
There's a third party on board, an agent working against you. Against us.
How do you know?
My servant saw them at the drop. They now have the ruby out. This could ruin me, Zeidel, if I were found out.
We should take precautions.
What about the painting? Did your associate bring it up from the cargo hold?
No, I don't have it.
No? But I put it there myself.
Sasha, I've discovered a traitor. Don't look so startled. It is not you.
You mean Hadelitz, your associate?
No longer my associate, I am afraid. Willie was an intellectual, and intellectuals aren't smart enough for espionage. Now, I must recover the painting and its plans. I fear this third party may already have possession of it.
And Hadelitz?
Thank you for asking. Willie will bring no further harm to the fatherland, I assure you. Let us plan.
Yes, can I help you? You sent it? Marvellous. I was afraid you'd forgotten. Mr. Thayer'll be most grateful. And let them think the purser's not doing his job. I am the purser, and as purser, I am the one who looks after the passengers. Mr. Thayer is Vice President of the Pennsylvania Railroad, and it is I who shall inform the Thayers that their train will be waiting. So, if you'll excuse me... Yes, can I help you? Away, go away, I'm too busy. Mr. Isidore Strauss, he's lost a cufflink, and he's so particular. Thank you. It is a gold cufflink. Mr. Strauss will be very grateful.
Evening, I'm the lift attendant. And you'll not find one better at taking you where you want to go. Where to? Mind the gate. Up a bit late, aren't you? Just like Mr. Conklin. He's a night owl too. Just a little ways more.
Hello there. Didn't I see you earlier? You'll never guess who I saw earlier. The man himself, Isidore Strauss, the owner of Macy's department store, standing right over there. Haymakers is a fine shop, but Macy's, man, that's the big store. But just as I was readying myself to make an introduction, he leaves. You seen him? At the foot of the stairs with his wife. Let me know if you see him, will you?
I am Colonel Zeitel, with the German Imperial Army. What brings you out so late on Sunday night? I am looking for something also. A misplaced notebook. Ah, such a big ship. You have not seen this notebook? Yes, but staying out so late at night, you must have some curiosity. Curiosity. In English, it kills the cat, yes? But it can also kill larger things. Stay away from German business. Germany wants land, industries, and material, and we will fight to get it. Britain and America will try to stop this, but we will know your plans. And if there's war, Germany will win. But enough politics. This has been such a civilized voyage so far. Let us meet tomorrow in the cafe, yes? The band? They play Strauss so well. Until then, auf Wiedersehen.
Yes, can I help you? Wonderful. Mr. Strauss will be quite pleased that I've found his cufflink. I shall deliver it at once. I'm just sure his gratitude will be reflected most generously.
He don't want no passengers down here. I'd be in a right big mess if he caught you sniffing around. Thanks for the help of the boss. He don't want no passengers down here. I'd be in... Thanks for the help of the boss. Thanks for the help.
Nobody's allowed to... You've got the keys. You're a carter. Of course you can enter. Right this way. Come to visit your new automobile, have you? Can't say I blame you. She's a beauty. Gleaming like a new penny. Right this way. Mind your head, it's dark in there. You'll find your way from here.
Did you get the painting? Blast. Someone got there before you. If only you'd been faster. That snooty steward Smethels was looking for you. Find him and kick him smartly in the shins. Here's a message for you. Did you get the painting? Blast. Someone got there before you. Did you get the painting? Blast. Someone got there before you. If only you'd been faster. That snooty steward Smethels was looking for you. Find him and kick him smartly in the shins. Here's a message for you.
Still wondering? This ship holds a strange fascination for you. Most peculiar. I've a message from a young German gentleman by the name of Haderlitz. He would like to meet you in the squash court. They've opened it for him. Highly irregular, I must say, especially for fencing. Surely he is. The percentage of passengers demanding the courts late on a Sunday night is small. Minuscule, actually. Yes, apparently he does not favor racket sports. If memory serves me, there is an entrance to the squash courts on D-deck. Meanwhile, I shall inform the young German gentleman that you will meet him presently.
Daisy Cashmore, surely you remember. Oh, you are naughty thing. Don't think I didn't know you'd snuck on at Cherbourg. Smethels told me all about it. The old boy's always dripping with news. Heard about Lord and Lady Lambeth. Ruined utterly. Scarcely enough left for appearances, I'm told. I always liked Georgia. Married Charles for his name and his fortune, sensible girl. But she's made her nest. Now she must live in it. Well, what do we think? Gorgeous, isn't it? Everyone's raving, gushing. The Titanic couldn't be more fabulous. And the sailing couldn't have been more convenient. Everyone's here. The Astors, the George Wideners, the Countess of Ross, such a wonderful girl. The Strausses, I saw them on D-deck tonight. The Ryersons, the Henry Harpers. I could just go on and on. And the ship's so very advanced. I was just saying to my dear friends, the Carters, they're bringing back a motor car, do you believe, in the cargo hold. Bill Carter checks it daily. Really, every day. He keeps the keys with the purser. And of course they let them. The Carters are fantastically rich. Lucille doesn't understand the attraction at all. With men and machines, I tell her, we girls play second fiddle. Well, my dear, I've a little favor, a tiny one. Tonight at dinner, a man I don't know was making eyes at me. Be an absolute darling and find out who he is. Look him up in the passenger list. All I know are his initials, GQC. The list's someplace. Find it. I'll wait right here. Ta!
then. Where to? Mind the gate. It's a cold night, this. Pretty much everyone's early to bed. Makes me job that much easier. Your deck now.
Good evening, mon ami. Buick Riviera welcomes you to the tables. You look familiar. We make a meeting before? Deauville? The casino at Monaco? New Mexico. I lived there once. In Diamondback. Such a town. So, have we met? C'est vrai. Then we shall use my special cards. Fortune. She favors me. It is in the cards. Again? You are the winner. Magnifique. You like to play again? Bonsoir. A game, mon ami? Good night.
Tell me, do you approve of women who smoke? You're witty. Most men take their indulgences one at a time. Combine them, like women with tobacco, and they pitch fits. Pity. Andrew and I wintered in Cairo. We returned via Paris, where we ran into all sorts of people, including that charming German Colonel Zeitel. He had a great interest in rare books. It will be wonderful to be home. No dust storms, no lepers. Mr. Trask predicts a banner year for me. Trask? A brilliant seer. Brilliant! I consult him about business decisions, and he's never steered me wrong. He instructs me to travel on only 2 ships, the Titanic and the Lusitania. I must stop our chat here. I've other concerns. My maid, she's left us. Yes, well, good night.
Did you get it? Get his name? You're such a tease. You don't have one at all. Try the purser's office. He'll have one.
Yes, can I help you? As purser, I arranged. I live to serve. I can. Have you? Let me check. Aha. Mr. George Quincy Clifford, A27. I live to serve. Glad to be of service. Good night.
Did you get it? Get his name? Clifford. Clifford. Never heard of him. You don't suppose he's rich, do you? You're an angel, and I've news for you, too. While you were gone, Andrew Conkling's been asking for you. Yes, Conkling, the steel baron. God knows what he's been doing in Europe, buying it probably. And where was I? Oh, yes, Andrew Conkling asked me to pass along this. You know his wife Beatrix, the designer. Such an eye! Her clothes preserve the bust line. Couldn't be more flattering. Keeps the eye moving. Much nicer than Worth's. They're friends with Captain Smith. Smith! So handsome, so dashing. White Star's best officer, or was. He's retiring after this voyage. Couldn't be more tragic. My dear, you've blanched. Bad news? Certainly, certainly, I must... It's Mrs. Burbank! Consuelo!
There you are. I have evidence of a scandal. I have seen a first-class passenger, a Mr. Hadelitz, among the steerage class. He's been gambling with the crew and worse. I followed him into third class, on F deck where he visited the room of an unchaperoned young woman. I will speak to the authorities. Such behavior, it smacks of socialism and unrest. I'm looking forward to talking with you about the mission. God needs your help. Thank you so much. I will call on you tomorrow. Good evening.
come. I do not meet so many people on the Titanic. It is a pity. I like the English. I wish I knew more of them. Now you have the opportunity of fencing with me. 3-time champion of my university. You are also an excellent athlete, yes? Colonel Seitel believes it so. The Colonel is very seldom confused about anything. You will play. If you win, perhaps, I relate to you some stories. En garde. Allons-y. Et là. Allons-y. Et là. Allez. Et là. Allons-y. Et là. Allez. Touché. You are the loser. How unfortunate. The Titanic, how quickly she is moving. The engines are loud here. We are nearing the Grand Banks. The Vikings thought this part of the North Atlantic cursed. Even modern sailors call it the Devil's Hole, a place of deadly surprises. Things aren't always what they seem, yes? Like me, for example. I am German, but I am also a friend to others. Perhaps even the English. Another match? Afterwards, we can tell more tales. Another match? En garde. Allez. Touché. Allez. Ah. Allez. Touché. Allez. Sehr gut. Allez. Sehr gut. Allons-y. Ah, verdammt. Allons-y. Touché. Allons-y. Touché. Allez. Touché. You are the loser. How unfortunate. You do? Remember, only one thing is certain, and the rest is lies. It is a quote from an old book I had the recent opportunity to read. But I tell you more. I am associate professor at the University of Vienna. I document the mythos, the legends of mankind. I'm on my way to New Mexico to study the Yoni Indians under Dr. van der Plaars. I am interested in what Dr. Freud calls the unconscious mind, what happens below the surface of experience. Tell me, what frightens you more, fire or ice? The ancient Aryans believed man would see 4 ages. According to them, this is now the Wolf Age, an age that ends with ice. Perhaps we of science might learn from it. They say the ice is heavy in the Labrador Current this year. Why do you assume he is interested in paintings? Yes, art. That is what I meant. And you are mistaken. Colonel Seitel cares little for art, unlike his friend Herr Barbicon. I notice he likes old Vienna, for he has many pictures of the city. If the fire comes, my friends will favor the English over Germany. Another match? En garde. Allez. Touchez. Allons-y. Et là. Allons-y. Touchez. Allons-y. Touchez. Allez. Sehr gut. Allez. Et là. Very good. You have proven yourself, and I must confide in you. Colonel Zeitler suspects I fail my friends more than Germany. He's right. Another match? En garde. Allez. Et là. Allons-y. Touchez. Allez. Touchez. Allons-y. Touchez. Allons-y. Et là. You are the loser. How unfortunate. Another match? En garde. Allez. Touchez. Allez. Sehr gut. Allons-y. Et là. Allons-y. Ah, verdammt. Allons-y. Et là. Allez. Et là. Allons-y. Ah, verdammt. Allons-y. Ah. Allez. You fence well. You are a great athlete. Another match? Ah, a pity. If you change your mind, I shall be waiting. Another match? En garde. Allons-y. Allez. Ah. Allons-y. Sehr gut. Allons-y. Allons-y. Et là. Allons-y. Touchez. Allez. Touchez. Allons-y. Ah, verdammt. You are a great athlete. Take this in friendship. May it bring you luck. A thing I fear we shall all need. But if anything should happen to me, I trust you will know what to do. Another match? Let us meet later. I will tell you more. For now, keep the ring. I bid you good night.
What did our young Mr. Hadelitz want? I'll see if I can dig something up on him. Their partnership appears to be dissolving. Who else knows young Hadelitz? Talk to anyone who may have seen him. Hadelitz's ring. Maybe Trask can tell you more about it. Finally, you're on the right trail. Follow those leads.
I say, how are you getting on?
Getting on? We used gangplanks, if I remember.
Quick as a cow, she is. Seen Guggenheim about?
Such a gentleman, extremely attentive to the ladies.
Especially his mistress. They say he stashed her on board somewhere.
Really, Henry? Not Mr. Guggenheim?
The Titanic's not a damned rectory, you know.
But Henry...
Quite the randy old goat from what I hear.
My goodness, I've forgotten completely. I have a message for you. Mr. Trask in D2 said you were to meet him where honor and glory crown time. Where honor and glory crown time? What do you think he meant? Good night.
You've arrived. I was expecting you. I was just holding court with these two ladies. Honor and glory. Crowning time. They say 100 wood carvers worked on the Titanic. Such effort. Now in such danger. Yes, for the ship. And for a mutual acquaintance. I visited with a very nice woman in second class, a Mrs. Hart. Won't sleep a wink at night, she says, because something dreadful is about to happen. She believes to call this ship unsinkable flies in the face of God, and such arrogance will be punished. She should join the Bureau. Good night. You again. Needing another reading, are you? I see your friend, Willie von Haderlitz. He is in very great danger. The ring. Yes, did you notice the Russian characters on the inside band? Willie has a hidden life. There's a girl, a pretty girl. Haderlitz knows her. Show her the ring. She'll help you. Good luck. Good night.
You seen Hadelitz's gal, Clarice Limehouse? She must have a cabin on D-deck, near reception. And could I receive her in a New York minute? Willie's girl's got some class to her. Main line all the way. Somewhere's on D-deck. Willie came by here earlier. Good night.
Yes? You want something? It's Willie's ring. Willie, what's happened? Something bad, hasn't it? Something to Willie. He told me if I ever received this ring, I was to know that whoever gave it to me was a friend, and to tell them about the notebook, that they should find it. Willie's hidden a notebook on board, that's all I know. Now what about Willie? Is he hurt? Oh, he told me jokes. Bad ones, but he made me laugh. Not like Mama's friends. Mama, she doesn't like Germans, unless they've a title to their name. But I like Willie, a lot. May I have it? The ring? Thank you. I'll never forget this. Willie's in trouble. Please help him if you can.
Quickly, there's not much time. Willie Hadelitz is dead, electrocuted in the Turkish bath. I heard one of the officers talking about it. This may not have been an accident. Apparently, someone wants that painting badly enough to kill for it. Do you have it? Not doing so well, are you? Someone must have taken the painting before you got there. Young Hadelitz, a Tsarist spy? It's beginning to become clear. Quite possibly. We need more information about the murder. A notebook. Zeitel's previous mission was aiding a band of Russian revolutionaries called Bolsheviks who want to overthrow the Tsar. The Germans would like nothing better than to see chaos in Russia. I'll bet that notebook's got names of Russian radicals. Such a list would be very important to the Okhrana, the Russian secret police. With it, they'd root out the Bolshevik ringleaders and eliminate a threat to the Tsar, which would certainly help the rest of us. If Hadelitz was murdered, you'll need protection. Here, this pen releases a single burst of knockout gas when opened. Find that notebook. It could be vitally important. Go investigate the situation at the Turkish bath. Move.
Most regrettable. Most regrettable indeed. The young German gentleman, dead. In the electric bath. Quite unanticipated. He was alive. Most vocally, too. Just a few hours before, arguing with someone on B deck. The gentleman's voice was unfamiliar. About a painting. He'd misplaced it. And the other gentleman wanted to know where it was. Yes, I believe Dr. O'Loughlin is waiting to move him, so as not to alarm the other passengers. It is, I must warn you, a most unpleasant sight. Very good. This is most irregular. Most irregular indeed.
What have you heard? Anything? Tell me. A passenger, a young German, gone and dropped dead on us in the electric baths. Dr. Olothan's there now. Do? Bloody well nothing. Not till New York. The rest of the passengers must not be alarmed. Ismay is going to raise hell when he hears. And I thought this would be an easy trip. Talk to Smethers, his steward. Say the man came down here after using the squash courts. Yes, yes, but be careful what you send. We don't need any scandals. Be my guest. Mind you, it's not pretty. Now, if you'll excuse me.
I'm Conkling. Good of you to come. I trust you're finding the accommodation satisfactory? Sorry to seem mysterious. You must understand someone in my position, an investor in this ship, needs discretion. You're under no obligation, of course. I have a slight problem. You may be able to help. A servant has stolen an important business document from me, and I must recover it. A few years ago, my wife Beatrix hired a young Irish girl as maid in our London house. We treated her well. 2 weeks ago, she up and left without notice, taking a certain letter with her. I'd given up all hope of recovering it, until my wife spotted her this morning on the third-class promenade. Needless to say, I checked with the purser. She'd been scheduled to sail on the Philadelphia. But those passengers were transferred on board the Titanic because of a coal strike. Yes, you could say so. I'd prefer to employ the services of a third party. You. Government officials, friends of mine, told me a bureau agent was on board. I found you through Mrs. Cashmore, a preposterous woman, but she does have an eye for accomplishment. Look, will you help me? You will be rewarded handsomely. Her name is Shayla Hacker. She's 20 or thereabouts. I was her benefactor, one might say. Confidential business matters. Conkling Steel provides steel for ships. This ship, for example. If the contents of the letter were publicized, our competitors would profit greatly. Yes. This puts me in a difficult situation. This young woman, she could cause considerable damage to me, to my reputation, if she goes to the newspapers. I've gotten word to her to meet on the poop deck. Go in my place. Tell her there'll be no trouble if she returns the letter. Afterwards, report to me in our suite, B59. Her name is Shayla Hacker. Good night.
Christ almighty wonder! You has a face ache, ain't you? Roaming the ship, poking your nose into everyone's business. Just who do you take me for now? One of those la-di-da millionaires up top? Jack Hacker keeps his word, honors his promises. When I saw you coming, I says to myself, they'll be wanting to know about him. The foreign gentleman, German I suspect. A remedy nervous type he was too. Give me a bob and told me to tell whoever asked to repeat a phrase word for word. You want to hear it now? But still the vine her ancient ruby yields, and still a garden by the water blows. Yeah, that's it. Here, he wrote it down. But still the vine her ancient ruby yields, and still a garden by the water blows. What's it mean anyway? Some rich man's game you play? You can have it. What did I tell you, Shay? I knew he'd not come in person.
Hush, Jack, hush. Conklin, he did send you, didn't he?
I told you, it's a trick. I knew Conklin wouldn't come. He sent one of his cronies instead. I'm her brother. And Conklin, because of him, Shayla's had to leave everything and everyone she knows.
Jack, don't.
That son of a bitch. She was his maid and all the time violating it.
Hush, Jack. I'll have no more of it. Go on, Jack, say it.
You tell Conklin we have his letter, and he'll not be seeing it till he coughs up a tidy sum, too. 5,000, do you hear? Dollars. Enough to get her started right in America. And if he moves a hand against us, I'll make sure the newspapers get the letter and print it. So tell Conklin. 5,000. Measured against what he has, it's a bloody bargain.
Meet us here again. At 1 tonight.
$5,000, then he'll get his damn letter. Agreed?
We'll be waiting for you. J.P. Morgan, he owns the White Star Line. He was to be on board. At the last moment, he took the cure in France instead. Why do you suppose? Has the ship sprung a leak? I'll scare myself to death. Everyone knows the Titanic's unsinkable. Why, it's the Harrises. You know, the Broadway producer. My dear, I simply must run. Lovely chatting with you. Goodbye.
Come in. I'd hoped to meet you earlier. However, my wife and I were calling on the Astors. Madeline's pregnant. Beatrix was thrilled. We have no children. I see. It's a ransom. May I present Mrs. Conkling?
You should pitch the ungrateful girl overboard. Your clothes, French cut, quite fetching. I forgot to tell you when we first met.
Beatrix is on her way to California. She's got a new project in... Where is it, dear?
A cow town, someplace called Los Angeles. I'm doing up a little resort there. It's called the Beverly Hills Hotel. So, where is the Irish tart? Dreaming of her newfound riches?
We were just talking about that, darling.
My husband and myself extended every courtesy, showed every kindness to Shayla. We've no children. Shayla became quite dear to us. So her theft hurt us all the more for the trust we placed in her. Don't fail us. Now, excuse me. I must retire. I have a frightful headache. It was a pleasure. Good night. Andrew?
My wife felt strongly about Shayla. As I've told you, we've no children of our own. Look, You must get that letter. Don't wait until tomorrow. See if you can speak to Shayla directly, without her brother. She's in the third-class cabins forward, on F deck, number 59. Good night. I'll speak to you tomorrow.
More clues? What is this becoming? A scavenger hunt at a country house party? Remember, the important thing's the notebook. Find it.
that you? I'll be right out. I don't want to wake the baby. Oh. But we were meeting later. Where's Jack? Please, I don't want no trouble.
I didn't know the letter was so dear. I just wanted to take something, anything that looked valuable. For the baby. It was Jack who read it. Saw it was bad for Mr. Conkling. He said the bit about selling bad steel would ruin him if it was to get out in the papers. You finished with me? I should go back inside. My baby, Eddie. He's the only reason I stood them last month at the Conklings. I knew Mr. Conkling weren't going to leave his missus. I was only a parlor maid, but I didn't care. I was happy to have his baby. Him and Mrs. Conkling, I thought they was so kind, until I found out. And Mrs. Conkling was going to steal my baby for her own. Once I had it, she would fire me and take Eddie for herself. She can't have her own babies. So they used me to get one, to get Eddie. When I found out that was her plan, I left. I didn't know the letter was anything. I thought it might hold a pound or two. Anyway, Jack, he says Mr. Conkling got the letter from an engineer up at the mill. Said the mill's been making bad steel. High in sulfur is what he called it. The steel's no good, and they put it in the Titanic. It'd be a scandal if it got out. That's why Mr. Conkling wants the letter back. But Jack, he says Conkling will have to pay us to get it. $5,000. Huh, Mrs. Conkling's probably behind it. All she cares about is a fine name and pots of cash. And a baby. But she won't get Eddie. No, she won't. And if she tries, I'll ruin her. Make her poor as me. Oh, that's Eddie. Bye. Don't forget about our meeting.
meeting you again.
Snooping about the decks again? What fun.
Oh, Henry, snooping. Really? Such dreadful taste.
Reminds me of that chap Burns, that photographer who took pictures of the ship.
You should look him up. He's on sea deck. He has such a lovely wife, too.
I say it's late. Must run. Goodbye.
Can you feel it? The air has changed. It's clammy, cold, like the ice caves in the Eiger. But you're not here about climatology. What do you want? No thanks, I don't smoke. Oh, you want a reading? Well, very well. They belong to Mr. Seidelman. I'm sorry, I'm getting no reading at all. Not even faintly. I don't think his death was an accident. He has double-crossed the Colonel. That may help you. The Titanic was never christened. Very bad luck for a ship. They say that when building her, a worker was entombed in the hull. And though we've 2,000 on board, the Titanic is only half full. The world's wealthiest men, Henry Clay Frick, J.P. Morgan, the Vanderbilts, canceled the trip. They know when to listen to their gut. The vibrations of the astral plane are quite strong. Whatever happens will be quite interesting. A gas pen, how clever. Don't point it at me. Goodbye. I'll be here if you need me.
Don't mind if I do. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, I always say. Gave a pack of these to the German kid early tonight. He's an odd one.
While we was docked in Queenstown, I saw him on top of one of the smokestacks.
The last one, right at the top. Who knows what he was up to? Looked like he was hiding something. Crazy crowd kid.
Well done. Listen, I've discovered the only way into the smokestack. Through the engine room. Find that notebook. Helping the Tsar will help us too.
God has moved his mighty hand against the wicked. Gambling, lewdness, and a mixing of the classes are repaid with fire. You have heard the news? Young Hadelitz has gone to meet his maker. Or someone else, eh? We can only speculate, can't we? They say the electric bath has never malfunctioned before. Believe me, it wasn't the voltage, but the cleansing work of the Lord. I'm looking forward to talking with you about the mission. God needs your help. Thank you so much. I will call on you tomorrow. Good evening.
What's this? No passengers in the boiler or engine room. Keep out. What's this? What's this?
Oh, she's still running rough. You're so clever last time, you care to have a go again? Right. There's a gauge showing the turbine's power output. The needle's got to move into the green zone. She's still running far too rough. Can you help? Good. There's a gauge showing the turbine's power output. The needle's got to move into the green zone. She's still running far too rough. Good. Cheers, mate.
my affairs for the last time. You are the one who stole the ruby yacht. Prepare to die at the hands of Serbia.
I think that notebook is for me. Please. I know exactly who you are. The agents have our secrets, yes? Thank you for finding it. Willie would have appreciated your effort. Cold, isn't it? I've maintained climate is the crucible of civilization. Culture blooms in the temperate. It is the tropic and Arctic zones which breed barbarism. Russia, for instance. In that notebook are names of anti-Tsarist Russians, revolutionaries living in exile. Germany supports these men. They are called communists. We provide assistance, small courtesies, and, wherever possible, financial encouragement. One of these men is moving to Krakow soon. Charming city, Krakow. We urge Willie to befriend such types in Vienna. He kept a list of such men for us, or so I thought. He was a Russian agent who was going to turn those names over to the Okhrana, the Russian Secret Service. Dave would kill them. Secretly, of course, but kill them just the same. Think. With the revolutionaries all dead, the Tsar would be secure on his throne. That should not be allowed. Not when there are wars to be planned for.
Now then, the notebook. An iceberg. They've run into an iceberg. The idiots! I will be taking that notebook now. Thank you. These names won't be disembarking in New York. Neither, I am afraid, are you.
'Twas a poor shot, that. You'll live. But for how long is the question? We've struck an iceberg. The incompetents, the idiots! That was an hour ago. The captain's called women and children to the boats. It's serious. She's sinking by the bow. She's got about an hour left, maybe a little more. The Rubaiyat. And a fine time I had getting it back from the purser. It's safer with you now. And the painting. You have to find it. We need to get those plans. Here's your necklace from the purser. Zeitel must have hidden the notebook. Perhaps it's in his room. Cabin C, 59. The notebook lists the names of Russian radicals. The Germans actively encourage Lenin and other revolutionaries. You must recover that notebook. This information is vitally important to our Russian allies. I know you're hurt, but the Titanic's sinking. It's not going to be easy. The lifts have been shut down for good. We must get the evidence off the ship before it goes. So, up we go. Now get cracking.
If you've come to get me to leave, I'm not going. I'm not leaving Willie. I want to stay near him on the ship. We met here in the lounge the first night out. He introduced himself. Willie was so kind. Not like Mama's friends. They just want our money. I'm staying with him. We went for a walk that night on deck. There were so many stars, just like tonight. I told him, you can't see the stars in New York. The lights burn too bright. I told him to go to Central Park. I was going to take him to the park to show him the stars. Here, take this shawl. I don't need it. If you get to New York, visit the park. That's where you see stars. That's where I wanted to take Willie. Goodbye.
The water's on E-deck. Get up top. The water's on E-deck. Get up top. The water's on E-deck. Get up top.
Stand back! Ladies and gentlemen, maintain order. Women and children board first.
Prepare to swing out! Lifeboat away, sir!
If you've come to get me to leave, I'm not going. I'm not leaving Willie. I want to stay near him on the ship. We met here in the lounge the first night out. He introduced himself. Willie was so kind. Not like Mama's friends. They just want our money. I'm staying with him. We went for a walk that night on deck. There were so many stars, just like tonight. I told him, you can't see the stars in New York. The lights burn too bright. I told him to go to Central Park. I was going to take him to the park to show him the stars. Here, take this shawl. I don't need it. If you get to New York, visit the park. That's where you see stars. That's where I wanted to take Willie. Goodbye.
No one's allowed on the bridge. Captain's orders. Stay with the others.
This deck's closed. No one can go up from this point. There aren't the boats for the steerage passengers. They must stay below. If you go down there, I can't guarantee you'll come back. It's dangerous down there. Good luck. If I'm still here when you return, I'll let you back up.
That bastard Conklin and his wife, as bad as he is.
Mrs. Conkling, she's stolen my baby. I let her hold the baby so I could get my hands free. I let her and she took him. She told the steward Eddie was hers. He wouldn't let me follow her up. She's leaving with my baby.
Easy, Shay. Those stewards, they won't let us back up to first class. It don't take brains to see what's gonna happen to this ship. Now you listen. That German gave me this painting. He's never come back for it. Get the baby and it's yours.
Take the letter. Find her. See if she'll trade the baby for it. Please, you're our only hope.
You don't, and I'll chuck this painting into the sea. Get moving.
Stand back! Ladies and gentlemen, maintain order. Women and children board first.
Prepare to swing out! Lifeboat away, sir!
You ain't getting anything from me. Not until Eddie's back with Shayla. Trade her the letter, you hear? The letter. Get moving.
The engine room's about to go. Go! Get up top! The engine room's about to go. Go! Get up top!
You have found me. And Sasha. Yes. Sasha cared only for himself, not Serbia, not the Black Hand. This is war. Deserters are shot. Like dogs. Maybe you want this. The English Lord's necklace. It is mine to sell. The money for the Black Hand. Then you will see somewhere, sometime, within a month, in a year, we strike. We will start a fire. A fire that will destroy the Austria oppressors, destroy Europe, and all Serbs will know freedom. I must leave. I must get on a lifeboat. Once again, I must ask for your help. Find a way to let me board a lifeboat unnoticed. Women and children first is the rule. What? How? A disguise? No. I die like a man. You can get me into the first class? To the boats? What can I give you? Never. It is for Serbia. Quickly, what do you take? Take it and give me. Give it to me. If I disguise myself, I can reach the boats. The sea, it's coming in.
You made it! Now get up on the boat deck. Last thing we need's a riot. Now get up on the boat deck.
You can't go out there. Get up to the upper decks. Don't push. Keep your hands well inside the boats.
No one's allowed on the bridge. Captain's orders.
Time's growing short. Try... Time's running short. Try to complete...
Did you see the Astors, Benji Guggenheim? Why, John Jacob Astor, the millionaire, of course. Leaving? If you see the Astors, do tell them Daisy wants to go in their boat. It'll be such fun. Don't forget, their boat. I only travel with the best. Goodbye.
What do you want? He's mine now. No one will know. He'll have a good life with me instead of that penniless girl. Leave. I'm getting on that boat. The letter. You have it? It can ruin us. Ruin me. I'll trade you. The letter for the child. Hurry! The letter for the child. Here. Take it. Take it. The letter. Yes, let me have it. What a fool! You don't have a seat in the boat.
This deck's closed. No. Good luck.
You got him back. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Here, take the painting. No use I got for it. Go on, get up top with my sister and the baby. Save them.
No, Jack, no. Not without you.
Hush now. Hush. There'll be no luck for men like me up top. I'll try me luck back here, in the stern. Get moving.
It's best I be going now. Take me to the boats.
Thank you. I'll not forget this.
He's first class I'm in. I'll never forget what you done. God protect you.
I say, old bean, absolute madhouse, don't you think? People running hither and thither, no organization, no plan of attack.
Henry doesn't think the situation calls for panic.
Lunatics, all of them, running about like rabbits with a stoat at the hole.
The lapse in social order is absolutely shocking.
Boats! Ha! If I were captain.
Such people, they're not dressed for first cabin, like those two immigrants on the second-class stairwell. Really, something should be done. The woman's quite upset.
Sodding foreigners!
I can't possibly get in these boats.
I agree. Packing the women off in such crowded quarters.
Frightfully cramped.
Like tinned mullet.
The Titanic is perfectly safe, isn't it?
I say, I'm in need of a gin.
Not now, Henry, not now. The officer there, he wants me in the boat.
They say the smoking room's still open.
Goodness, I do believe I hear running water.
Perhaps we can play a few hands with that Frenchman.
Henry, I do think we should stay here with the boats.
Blast it all, Ribena. Pitch yourself in. I say, old bean, coming with? Suit yourself then. Cheerio.
You had wanted this? Not quick, are you? Lily's names stay on board, and not with the Russians. A pity about the Titanic. She's going to sink, you know. I have it from Andrews, the builder. Poor fellow is in a state of shock. He is giving her about another hour at best. Make yourself comfortable. The bomb on the sofa will take care of everything else. What remains will go down with the ship. With, it appears, most of our fellow passengers. I will leave the notebook with you. A little bedside reading. Now, please excuse me. You think so? Excuse me, will you? I have an appointment to keep. Goodbye.
The boats, I can't find them. Everyone's gone. The officer, he wanted to put me in a boat with people I didn't know. But it's not that bad, is it? We won't die. No, we won't. The boats, I must find the right one, the right boat. The boats, I must find the right one. I must. I can't go with just anyone.
You are proving surprisingly hardy, so perhaps you'll honor one more request. The evening's last, it would seem. Oh, but you must. You could save a life. The Lady Georgia's, of course. I've poisoned her. If you decide against helping me, she will die. But if you cooperate, the antidote for her. Why, there goes Mr. Ismay. He's abandoning ship. Not just the women and children. The president of the line gets a seat too. So, will you help? Good. Listen closely. You have the painting, and we both know its true value. Please, the painting. Hand it to me. Thank you. And since I am a man of my word, the antidote. And in the spirit of the evening, I will even tell you where she is. Sasha's cabin, A14.
moonless nights. These are the last two boats, 2 and 4. Be patient. There are still women waiting. Don't make me use this. Yes, keep them calm. I'll see what I can do. Reassure the passengers. If they panic, we'll save no one. Look, return here in a few minutes. There may be room. No promises now. Just come back. Don't forget.
Goodbye. May God protect you.
Carson, you've done your best to help. Quick, we've space for one more. Get in. Damn it. Now! There's no more time. Get in, you can go. Get in, damn you, it's an order. Tell them we did our best. Tell them...
Vlad left the sinking ship without the ruby yacht, nor did he have the real Lambeth diamonds. The Black Hand never got its funds, money intended to finance a wave of terrorism across the Balkans. One of the intended targets, the heir to the Austrian throne, Archduke Franz Ferdinand. His murder might have started a war. We were lucky. We got peace instead. As for the painting, it left with me. The plans proved useless. In the month following the sinking, the War Office scrapped the proposed deployments in a cost-cutting measure. But the canvas? As the only artifact saved from the Titanic, the painting became famous. along with its creator, a rather excitable Austrian named Adolf Hitler, who makes a lucrative career to this day, peddling overpriced Alpine vistas to the carriage trade. I left the ship with Willie's notebook. Eventually, it found its way to the Russians. The Tsar's secret police were grateful, and the names Stalin, Lenin, and Trotsky vanished from history. The communist revolution aborted. I didn't really realize it then, but that night 30 years ago was one of history's most crucial. Though the Titanic carried 1,500 to the death, a peaceful world would be their epitaph. Our mission was a success. With no wars or bloody revolutions to derail us, prosperity and progress has flowed into every corner of the globe, bringing humanity a security known only to the privileged few before the Titanic sailed. Today, on April 14th, 1942, I am leaving the service to retire in a world at peace. One can only imagine how different it could have been, would have been, if we had failed.